I think if I'm anything, I think I'm a writer first, and then the rest is after. So I do see myself as a writer. I do see myself live through the identity of the words, and I'm very obsessed with words. Although cinema is very strong, very direct, very immediate media, but I think sometimes words somehow give you the much more fundamental imagination because it's so totally abstract. So here, I'm just gonna do the 10 piece of the poem with Matt and Steve. Some of the piece actually is from other poet. Where is your glasses? Is there? Okay. This first one, I think everybody you might heard of very, very often, is from Allen Ginsberg, and one of his most famous poem called America. He wrote in 1956. But what I try to do is kind of a remix from Allen Ginsberg by changing the most frequent word in this poem, this word America, into China. So this poem now is called China. And let's see if it works in a strange way. Yep. China, I've given you all, and now I'm nothing. China, $2.27, January 17th, 1956. China, I can't stand my own mind anymore, China. When will you send us a human war, China? Go fuck yourself with your atom bomb, China. I don't feel good, don't bother me, China. I won't write my poem till I'm in my right mind. China, China, China! China, when will you be angelic, China? When will you take off your clothes, China? When will you look at yourself through the graveyard, China? When will you be worthy of your million Trotsky's, China? China, why are your libraries full of tears, China? China, when will you send your eggs to India, China? I'm sick of your insane demands, China. When can I go into the supermarket and buy what I need with my good looks, China? China, after all, it is you and I who are perfect, but not the next world, China. Your machinery is too much for me, China. You made me want to be a saint, China. There must be some other way to settle this argument, China. I haven't read the newspapers for months. Every day somebody goes on trial for murder, China. I feel sentimental about the Wobblies, China. I used to be a communist when I was a kid, China. I smoke marijuana every chance I can get, China. I sit in my house for days and I stare at the rose in the closet, China. When I go to American town, I get drunk. I never get laid, China. My mind is made up. There's going to be trouble. You should have seen me reading Marx, China. My psychoanalysts think I'm perfectly all right, China. I once say the Lord's Prayer, China. I have mystical visions and cosmic vibrations, China. China, I still haven't told you what you have done with Uncle Marx after he came over from Russia. China, I'm addressing you. Are you going to let our emotional life be run by Time magazine? Yes, I'm obsessed by Time magazine. I read it every week. Its cover stares at me every time I slink past the corner candy store. I read the Time magazine in the basement of the Berkeley Public Library. It's always telling me about responsibility. Businessmen are serious. Movie producers are serious. Everybody is serious, but not me. It occurs to me that because I'm China, I'm talking to myself again, talking to myself again, talking to myself, talking to myself. Asia is rising against me. I haven't got American man's chance. I better consider my national resource. My national resource consists of 2 joints of marijuana, millions of genitals, and unpublished private literature that goes on 1,400 miles an hour, and 25,000 mental institutions. I say nothing about my prison, nor the millions of underprivileged who live in my flower pot under the light of 500 suns, China. I have abolished the whole house of France. Tangiers is the next to go. My ambition is to be president, despite the fact that I'm a Catholic. China. How can I write a holy litany in your silly mood, China? China, I will continue like Henry Ford. My strophes are as individuals as his automobiles, China. China, I will sell you strophes 2,500 apiece, China. Free Tom Mooney, China. China, save the Spanish royalties, China. China, Sacco and Vincenti must die, China. China, I'm the Scottsboro Boys. When I was 7 years old, my mother took me to a communist party. And in their meetings, they sold us gabazons, beans, a handful per ticket. A ticket cost a nickel, and the speeches were free. In those meetings, everybody was angelic and sentimental. It was all so sincere, China. So sincere, so sincere, so sincere at that time. China, you don't really want to go to the war, China. It's them, the bad Americans, them bad Americans, them bad Americans, them bad Americans. The American wants to eat us alive. The American's power mad. He wants to take our cars from our garage. He wants to grab Chicago. He needs a Reader's Digest. He wants our auto plants in Siberia. Big bureaucracy running our filling stations. That no good. Him makes Indians learn to read. Him need big black knickers. She makes us all work 16 hours a day. Help, help, help! So the second piece, I'm reading from my first novel I wrote when I was 19. The English title is called 20 Fragments of Ravenel's Youth. And I wrote it when I was so young because I grew up in a village. So every day I desperate want to leave the village. I guess like any young people from the village wants to go to city. And the whole book is really about this young woman fighting with the society she inhabited. First is a village, then second is the city of Beijing. And the novel is about the battle between the young woman and the Beijing as a city. So here's a little section from the chapter 2 of the novel. From as far as back as I can remember, I wanted to leave that shithole. I had always planned to escape. I was 17 when I finally fled my village, a nothing place that won't be found on any map of China. Heavenly bastard in the sky. Everything about that day is so vivid still. The stretch of the sky, the pour of the wind, the endless tangled fields, the silent little village, and how it burned itself into my heart as I ran and ran and ran from those potato fields. Heavenly bastard in the sky. A small desolate village can have more influence than any imperial dynasty. The routine of the last 100 years is the same as in a single day. In practical terms, it could be explained like this. If you heard a rooster in the courtyard sing 4 notes around 5 in the morning, then you knew with absolute certainty that when you heard that same rooster in the early hours of the next morning, it would sing a 4 notes melody of the exactly same pitch and frequency. Just as if it had never been sang, is as if it has always been recorded in the beginning of our time. And this would play over and over and over and over like a recording machine for eternity. Or in the afternoon, for example, as the sun fell into the valley, you might see an old man carrying an old axe and walking along the old fields. And then he might cough twice and spit once. And then just wait. Because tomorrow afternoon, when that old damn sun starts to fall into the old damn valley, you will see that old damn man carrying the old damn axe slowly walking along the fields, and he would cough exactly twice and spit exactly once. Whenever I heard this cough and spit, I want to kill myself. You see why I want to kill myself there? Because my ancestors plowed those fields every day, every night, every day, every night, every day, every night. And then they chose one day to die. On that day, they would tell themselves, today I will die. And then they die. And then they died as if they had never lived. They died like an ant dies. Who gives a damn when an ant dies? Heavenly bastard in the sky. I picked up my suitcase and I walked out, crouching over dried leaves as I went. My footsteps were impatient, and the suitcase was light in my hand. It was as though I'd done this for 100 times before in my life. The mountains, the fields, the well, the market, the old wives, the data trees, the river, the potato fields. I looked at those things I was leaving, and already they were becoming my memories. This one, any young people here, or even a bit aged people, know very, very well. Is from Sex Pistol, Anarchy in the UK. But I will scream less in my version. Antichrist. Anarchist. Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. I want destroy pass by because I want to be anarchy. No dog's body. Do not care if the cat is black and white. What matters is that cat catches mice, said Deng Xiaoping, the greatest Chinese reformist. Anarchy for China, anarchy for the US, anarchy for Egypt, anarchy for Burma. Coming sometime, and maybe I give it wrong time, stop at the traffic line. Your future dream is a shopping line, and that's why I want to be anarchy in the city of hierarchy. How many ways to get what you want? How many ways? I use the best, I use the rest. I use NME, I use socialism, I use capitalism, I use liberal democracy, I use the Green Party, the Tea Party, I use anything, and I function on nothing. Is this MPLA? Or is this the CIA? Or is this the IRA? I thought it was the UK, but actually it is just another country, another consultancy, another minister's policy. Do not care if the cat is black or white. What matters is that cat can catch the mice, said Deng Xiaoping, the greatest Chinese reformist. So let's say it here for the last time and forever. Anarchy for China, anarchy for the US, anarchy for Egypt, anarchy for Burma, for the last time and forever. When I was very young, I started writing poems. So I was in the village, and there's not much cultural communication at all. I still remember when I was a kid, the only book you can find, if it's easy to find, is Mao's Little Red Book, and you can see why Mao is everywhere here. So that was my memory of the books available, is Mao or some kind of my grandmother's Buddhist sutras in my kitchen. So I was writing some kind of sentence, words, and this poem I wrote about a woman, Chinese woman on a train. One day I was traveling from Beijing to the west of China, this capital called Urumqi. Urumqi is in the Xinjiang province of west of China. And I saw this Chinese woman was sitting there 3 days on this sitting seat, silent, 3 days, not sleeping on the train. And she was looking outside of the window, which was just desert, forever, not moving a second. So I wrote this for her, and I call her Mona Lisa, and I wonder what's going on in her mind. And this one called Mona Lisa in Exile.你端庄地坐在窗前，急速掠过的风景，迷幻、抽象，而你端庄的脸庞是那么具体。你端庄的鼻子，你端庄的骨匣，你端庄的眼神，你端庄的双手搁在你端庄的膝盖，你端庄地注视着窗外的滚滚红尘。An elegant and a serious face. 你是那么端庄的一个女人，你沉思，你梦幻，你坐在嘈杂的列车里，香烟缭绕，人头晃动，母子争执，婴儿哭泣，只有你端庄的沉思 ，with your elegant and serious thoughts. 你的端庄的脸庞映着窗外的光芒，有时阳光，有时乌云，有时彩霞，有时树影，而你端庄的脸庞反射着时间的光芒，沉稳隆重。Your elegant and serious gesture. 在你端庄的外表下，你有否端庄的心事？而你端庄的心事被端庄的外表紧紧裹缚，不能穿越，无法破裂，更不能击破。在那个端庄的世界里，是硝烟弥漫的火山，是漂浮着冰山的海洋，是干枯的原始森林上熊熊燃烧的大火，是热带海洋上呼啸而来的台风。Your elegant and serious nature. 而在你端庄的心房里，你是否刻骨铭心地思念一个人？你是否刻骨铭心地仇恨一个人？在你端庄的嘴唇里，你是否紧紧咬住一个惊人的秘密？你是否死死地固守一个永恒的誓言 ？Your elegant and serious secret. 你的端庄的身体使列车不堪负重，使轨道无法延伸，使前方无法遥远，使终点不可期盼。Your elegant and a serious future. 你的端庄的重力使得地球紧紧围绕太阳，使得月亮紧紧围绕地球，而你端庄的力量使得宇宙上的所有星球都围绕在你端庄的心里。Your elegant and a serious heart. So here we are, we're going to have some real quotations from Mao Zedong. I couldn't write so good, you see, so I have to recite from his stuff. I will read two pieces from Mao Zedong from this little red book. The first bit is very, very famous, very well-known one, called "Serve the People." Whenever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice, and a death is a common occurrence. But we have the interests of the people and the suffering of the great majority at heart. And when we die for the people, it's a worthy death. Wherever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice. Nevertheless, we should do our best to avoid unnecessary sacrifice. Wherever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice. All men must die, but death can vary in its significance. The ancient Chinese writer 司马迁写道：“人固有一死，或重于泰山，或轻于鸿毛。” Though death befalls all men, it may be stronger than Mount Tai or lighter than a feather. Wherever there's a struggle, there's sacrifice. To die for the people is stronger than Mount Tai, but to work for the fascists and die for the exploiters is lighter than a feather. Wherever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice. Serve the people. And the second one is a piece discussion between patriotism and internationalism. Sounds very strange, but anyway, here we go. Can a communist who is an internationalist at the same time be a patriot? We hold that he not only can be but also must be. The specific content of patriotism is determined by historical conditions. There is a patriotism of the Japanese aggressors and of Hitler, and there's our patriotism. Communists must resolutely oppose the patriotism of the Japanese aggressors and of Hitler. The communists of Japan and Germany are defeatists with regard to the wars being waged by their countries. To bring about the defeat of the Japanese aggressors and of Hitler by every possible means is the interest of the Japanese and the German people. And the more complete the defeat, the better. Can a communist who is an internationalist at the same time be a patriot? For the wars launched by the Japanese aggressors and Hitler are harming the people at home as well as the people of the world. In China's case, however, is different because she is a victim of the aggression, and the Chinese communists must therefore combine patriotism with internationalism. We're at once internationalists and patriots, and our slogan is fight to defend the motherland against the aggressors. For us, defeatism is a crime, and to strive for victory in the war of resistance is inescapable duty. Can a communist who is an internationalist at the same time be patriot? For only by fighting defense of the motherland can we defeat the aggressors and to achieve national liberation. And only by achieving national liberation will it be possible for the proletariat and other working people to achieve their own freedom. And next one is some secret text messages from WikiLeaks. So you know WikiLeaks now very well. And I think the WikiLeaks released 20 text message, or more than that, I'm sure, on that day of 9/11 when the WTO center being bombed. So I took 15 text messages from that WikiLeaks page. And those text messages is kind of 10 minutes before the 911, the airplane crashed into the tower. So 10 minutes before that, and it ends on I think 6 hours after the event. On the 6 o'clock, some text message unreadable. It's kind of code, message code. AND 706 TZZ USAF. Anyway, 2 hours later, a real text message we all can read from a police in Washington, D.C., sent to New York. It says on 8:36 in the morning, Iraq says it shoots down U.S. reconnaissance plane. And 17 minutes later, on the 8:51:31:6, please call Pentagon weather. Unclassified. Please call Pentagon weather. Reference 10:30 meeting 703-965 from Andrew J. Taskas, USA Force. 2 minutes later, 10 seconds later, another text says, NYPD Division. World Trade Center, possible explosion, World Trade Center, building level 3, mobilization to church and vessel, emergency. And half an hour later, another text says, dollar tumbles US. Dollar vs Euro, Chinese yuan vs Euro, WTC explosion. Eleven seconds later, on the 9:24 a.m., NYC WTC WMS TKT 1911000494. Switch seems to be okay on the South Tower. Overloads in the SM9 of South Tower from high. Six minutes later, on the 9 a.m. 31 in the morning, NYC. WTC has been hit by an airplane and a bomb currently in B6. It is being evacuated. NCC has received multiple alarms. Optical, environmental updates will follow. Run from NCC 800 824 82449. Just 3 seconds later, another text returned. Final mail, mortgage, delays, benchmark bill, cancels, note announced due to the WTC blasts. "15 minutes later, just before 10 a.m., it's reported that a US military helicopter circled around the building, then crashed into or next to the Pentagon. It's not clear to whether it was the White House or the Pentagon. They are bombing, evacuating." "25 minutes later, another text. Please don't leave the building. One of the towers just collapsed. Please be careful. Repeat after me." And now it's 11 a.m., 30 seconds. "Bomb squared. Please report to Eddie. PERT913. 30 minutes later, text message answer. "Lines to Washington and Saudi Arabia are blocked or jammed. Couldn't go through. Jim at the FBI had no information. He suggests we watch Fox or CNN." From Chris. So in the 11 a.m., 20 minutes, 52 seconds, another text. "Yes, Eddie and Paul are all right. Paul is still trapped in his building, which is next to the WTC." Nine minutes later, just before 12 o'clock in the noon. "I'm okay. I saw the whole thing. I was on the roof looking at the first fire when I saw the second plane plow into the second tower. Unbelievable, literally. I was inside when they collapsed. I'm still in my apartment. Nowhere to go. This is the end of the world as we know it." 11 p.m. "Jamie, you are needed in the war room ASAP." "3 p.m. 55:54 seconds. Eddie, I'm not dealing with this shit. I will call Justin in earlier. Ford shut down the plants. I'm not answering why they are still working there. Fuck this. From Rider Little John with extension line 18914. And here's a text message on the 5 p.m. 20 minutes 30 seconds. Honey, I wanted to tell you how much I love you. I was a little worried. I don't want to lose you now that I got you back. You mean everything to me. You have my whole heart and life. I love you so much. On the 6 p.m., 5 minutes and 5 seconds, the message says, first, my nephew is all right. Second, there's a dead body at the main gate. And the last text message is, we are bombing Afghanistan over and out. Okay, so I want to do something from my own words. Enough with other people's words. So, as you can see, I'm a woman, so I write a poem about being woman, of course. And this one is kind of addressing to the Beauvoir, her book called The Second Sex, which I'm sure you all know very well, more than me. So the poem is called Second Sex or Not. De Beauvoir published The Second Sex in 1949. And Mao Zedong announced the People's Republic of China in 1949. And my mother was born in 1949 in a house of 7 sisters and 1 brother. So the 8 sisters formed an army to assist 1 brother to become a lawyer. A lawyer in my province to protect women's rights. But I want to know, what is the second sex? What is the feminine? What is domestic science? Is a trap of hierarchies hold? Is it a kitchen sink's hole? Is it a toilet flush and bowl? Is it a hungry stomach's owl? Is it a bank that's void? Is it a suburban bungalow where a man chews his beef boiled and a woman cooks her soup slow and with the kids screaming in front of TV's glow? It's a lack. It's a missing. It's a dark passage where sound and visuals each other swallow. Therefore, it gives birth to the universe, then ends it. Haunted by femininity, I ask, what is the other? What is the other sex? What is the domestic science? Woman is not born but becomes. Woman is not the opposite sex, but the sex. Woman is not the sexual object, but the object. Haunted by femininity, I say, woman never exists. Nor has she ever been born. Only wombs, only ovaries, only eggs. A uterine universe. Not even female spirits. Not even a single woman when woman rules. Not even in the matriarchal world. The womb counts, not the woman. The womb produces a man, but no woman is born. Haunted by the femininity, I say, cut the womb, shrink the womb, oh, let's be constructive. Let the womb be transplanted universally. Growing man in every boy child's bowel, everyone shall carry the womb, and the woman shall rise from her tomb. Haunted by femininity, I cry. Cut the womb, shrink the womb, or let's be constructive. Let the womb be grown in every creature, growing in man, growing in drone, growing in bull, cock, ram, growing buck, stag, dog, and president. In every creature grown. This bit is from my novel called A Concise Chinese English Dictionary for Lovers. And it's a novel I wrote about 4 years ago when I came to the UK from China. I couldn't really speak English very well, and so I decided to write a novel with broken English. And the novel's form is kind of a linguistic structure with each vocabulary to start with a story, but in the wrong grammatic sentence. So this bit, it's called Colony, and it's from the middle part of the novel where the protagonist can speak much better English, and could be even beautiful English. Let's see. The way you make love with me is totally new experience in my life. Is sex supposed to be like this? Penetrating is a way for you to enter into my soul. You are so strong, and your strength is overwhelming. For you, I'm unprepared. You crush me, squeeze me, you press me into your body. Love making is a torture. Love making is a battle, but then I got used to it. I'm addicted by it. The way you hold my body is like holding a small object, an apple, a plum, or a little animal. The force from your arms and your legs and your hips is like force from a huge creature living in the jungle. The vibrate from your muscle shakes my muscle. The breeze of your heart also beating my heart. You are the commander. You kiss my lips, you kiss my eyes, my cheek, my ears, my neck, and my silver necklace. It's like my necklace having a special magic on you. And that magic force, you devote yourself to my body. You kiss my breasts and you suck them. You are like a baby who is thirsty for mother's milk. You lick my belly, my legs, my feet. You possess my whole body. They are your farm. Then you come back to my delta. Your lips are wandering in my garden and my cave. Then in that warm and wet nature, you try to find something precious, something you always dream about. You're wandering around there, and you love there, and you want to live there. My whole body is your colony. If you don't mind, I think we do our last piece here. So this one, I'm sure you heard of, can even recite, memorize it, from William Blake, Tiger. But of course, we did a remix. It's a cover version with strange sentence here. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. What the immortal hand or eye could frame your fearful beauty? Mao Zedong writes, all reactionaries are paper tigers, unable to withstand the wind and the fire. Nothing but a paper tiger. 纸老虎着火了，纸老虎着火了。Oh tiger, oh tiger, when your heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet, and you cried aloud and high, and this be our motto, in God is our trust, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. Paper tiger burning bright in the empire of the night. What mortal hand or eye dare frame your cooperate power? What is a hammer? What is a sickle? What is a chain? In what microwave was your brain? When the star-spangled banner threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did you smile your work to see? Desert storms, oil industry, did he who made the lamb make thee? All reactionaries are paper tigers, unable to withstand the wind and the fire. Nothing but a paper tiger. 纸老虎着火了，纸老虎着火了。